Hello, listeners, and welcome to this week's recording of Boomerang. We are Team 3. My name is Jim, and your other readers are
Thérine,
Nan,
Ray,
and Caroline.
Andrew's an engineer tonight, and he'll be doing the recording, and Ray will be doing the copying and distribution. The news this week is taken with permission from the West Lothian Courier, dated the Thursday, 24th of October, and we are recording this on the 24th of October. Any anecdotes have been taken from the Reader's Digest, again with their permission. As usual, the recording this week has been divided into 4 sections, and can I remind you that when you have listened to the whole recording, please post your wallet back to us from a post box and not the post office. We will start the first section with some general news.
Vet Clinic supports Breast Cancer Month. Perfect pets are in the pink for very good cause. Workers at a West Lothian vet's got all dressed up to raise money for charity, and their pets were in the pink too. Last week, Westport Veterinary Clinic in Linlithgow took part in Wear It Pink, an event to raise awareness and money for Breast Cancer Now. Breast Cancer Now's Wear It Pink Day is one of the biggest fundraising events in the UK. Taking place during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, thousands of amazing people wear it pink in their communities, schools or workplaces for the UK's largest breast cancer charity, Breast Cancer Now. A spokesperson for the vet said, Westport Vets Linlithgow practice had a consultation room decorated in pink for the pets to get involved. We had a great turnout with lots of top dog models. The dogs had great fun and were super excited playing with pink flamingo toys and getting treats for pics in their pink attire. The giant Barbie box prop gave the clients a good chuckle when the dogs got inside, making their dogs into Wear It Pink edition canine Barbies. Team Westport would like to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone who supported our Wear It Pink event, those who took part on the day, those who kindly stopped by to share their stories about breast cancer with us, and to everyone who kindly made donations. Such an invaluable charity to support. We raised £202 for Breast Cancer Now. Breast cancer affects everyone. Breast Cancer Now say that 2,300 women under 40 are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. Men can get breast cancer too. Although it's rare, 370 men are diagnosed each year. Breast Cancer Now are dedicated to give support for today and hope for the future for everyone affected by breast cancer. And there's a lovely picture of everybody dressed in their pink attire.
row over appalling change to boundary. A row has erupted over Holyrood boundary changes, which would see Whitburn and Falthouse removed from the county and put in with Airdrie in North Lanarkshire. The same proposed changes would see West Lothian removed from the Lothian regional list and into a Central Scotland list for a choice of MSPs in the 2026 election. Boundaries Scotland is undertaking the second review of Scottish Parliament boundaries and is consulting on revised constituency proposals and proposals for regions. West Lothian Council has objected to the plans and locals have also hit out. Council leader Lawrence Fitzpatrick said the proposals contravene 2 of 4 boundary change rules. Fitzpatrick said, "This proposal disregards the boundaries of West Lothian and very strong existing ties within these communities. By splitting 2 West Lothian Council wards between Airdrie and the other constituencies, the proposals conflict with the fact that regard must be had to the boundaries and Rule 4. They disregard local identities, links and ties with local communities. I think we all agree Falthouse and Whitburn have strong links to the rest of West Lothian. In terms of work, education, people from these communities are more likely to commute to and work in Livingston, Bathgate and Edinburgh. Children from Longridge and Stonyburn go to Whitburn Academy or St Kentigern's in Blackburn. Removal of the two communities would also clash with existing boundaries within police and fire divisions, as well as different health board areas. Locals also slammed the proposals online. One said, "Absolutely appalling how these people get to make or suggest such nonsense changes." Another added, "Whitburn has always been West Lothian and the Lothians. No ties at all with Airdrie. Leave our boundaries alone." Councillor Fitzpatrick said that West Lothian had very strong links to other regions within the Lothians, much more than to communities to the west in North Lanarkshire Council area. If changes are made to the provisional proposals for regions or the further proposals for constituencies, another 1-month consultation will be held. Boundaries Scotland will submit a report to Scottish ministers by May 1st, 2025. If subsequently approved, the new boundaries will be effective at the next Scottish Parliament election in May 2026.
We're sticking together to get through. That's what Lou would have wanted. Families speak out after suicide tragedy. Safe Space Memorial Bench appeal. The family of a young West Lothian lad who tragically took his own life are urging others to speak up about their struggles. Lou Robertson, 22, passed away on September the 14th after struggling with his mental health for several years. Lou from Bathgate leaves behind his mum and dad, Lorraine and Donald, girlfriend Camilla, and close friends Lewis Watt, Alex Leslie and Christopher Jackson. His heartbroken loved ones have been left shocked by the devastating news, and they've said he has left a mark on everyone he knew. His best friend, Lewis, told Edinburgh Live, "He always had a smile on his face and was such a people pleaser, and that's why everyone is so shocked by this. He had cerebral palsy growing up and struggled to fit in, but he was a talker and so popular with everyone who knew him. He was just always there for people if they were struggling and would go out of his way to make sure everyone's okay." Lou was a troubled guy at times, but this was definitely a shock because he was doing so well. Even if something was going on in the background with him, he would still be laughing and smiling. Lewis and Lou became friends in 2017 and have been inseparable ever since. Lewis added, "We weren't scared to put each other in their place. There was no fakeness. We were like cat and dog, but he was the best guy I could have had as my best friend." Lou's family and friends have set up a fundraiser to help raise awareness around men's mental health and suicide, and are hoping to organise memorial benches as a safe space for people to collect their thoughts or have the chance to talk to someone. Lou was known for his phrase, "skipping over the ocean like a stone," which his parents described as meaning he was getting by and doing fine. Lou's dad, Donald Robertson, said, "A lot of people suffer with their mental health and don't know where to go for help. Families are directly impacted by it now, and we just want people to know there is a space they can go to talk to someone. A lot of the time, those defeated are the people you would least expect. Wester Inch is a big community in Bathgate, and people don't come together, and this is something we want to build on. We just want to encourage others to say hello to someone if they're sitting on their own, ask them how they are.
We're all coping day by day by talking and coming together. Lou spoke to everybody. He wasn't shy and was always helping others, so we're all sticking together right now. You can donate to the fundraiser at www.gofundme.com/F/Lewis-Robertson. If you've been affected by this article, Samaritans are available to call 24 hours a day on 116 123. You can also find help on their website at www.samaritans.org.
Anger over plans for new homes. Site was memorial to soldiers. People in a West Lothian town have vowed to stand up to plans to build homes on a memorial field where dozens of old soldiers had their ashes scattered. The Scottish Government backed plans to develop the hillside site, which was once home to Bathgate's War Memorial, despite widespread objections, including from the Community Council. And Labour councillor Harry Cartmill, who led the opposition to the plan to desecrate what is considered a hill of heroes, told the Courier, "I stand with my constituents as we fight this outrage tooth and nail. We won't give up without our voices being listened to. This is not North Korea." Until 1995, the land off Napier Avenue was home to Bathgate's 1925-built War Memorial. Beech trees were planted on the site at the time, and many who had served in the First and Second World Wars had their ashes scattered around the trees. The memorial also commemorates those lost in the Korean War in the early 50s. The original memorial site was built to include 6 semi-detached cottages, veterans' cottages, for badly disabled veterans and their wives and families. TM Land Purchases won their appeal earlier this year, and this week the Council's Development Management Committee will be given official notification that the firm has planning permission, in principle, to build homes on the site. Quite apart from the emotional upset caused by the plan being granted permission, neighbours of the site have long argued that the steep hills, narrow streets and access points make it impractical and dangerous to build more homes on this site. There are fears that up to 50 homes could be crammed onto the hill. Following 2 public meetings in the town, the Community Council now has a twin-track strategy. It aims to establish once and for all that the land was gifted to the town as common good and should never have been sold to West Lothian Council. It will also investigate an earlier rejection of development on the site by the Scottish Government because of the unsuitability of access. Councillor Cartmill said that a recent meeting in the town had been filled with anger at the plans. Councillor Cartmill said that the latest meeting was to focus on what could be done to fight the Scottish Government reporter's dreadful snub to democracy and his gross disregard to the memory of the greatest generation and to the natural environment of the site, all now sanctioned by Scottish Government ministers. The Community Council is now combing parish records to establish proof that the land was gifted to the town in the 1920s as the site of the War Memorial. A Freedom of Information request has also been sent to West Lothian Council requesting details of an initial plan to build on the site, which was rejected by a reporter of the Scottish Government's Division of Environmental and Planning Appeals, DPEA. Councillor Cartmill said that the first DPEA decision had been branded the site as unsuitable for housing. The town's War Memorial was moved down into a new site next to St John's Church in May 1995 as part of the BBC's Challenge Annika programme, after it was realised that the steep hillside and narrow roads were making it increasingly difficult for visitors to access the site. The same logic should now be applied to the housing plans, say objectors. Councillor Cartmill said that there was anger in the town that the council rushed to secure a Section 75 agreement with developers, a guarantee that money will flow into council coffers for each home built on the site. The feeling was it was underhand and again grossly undemocratic. Another FOI will be sent to the council for all details, he said. The initial T-Land purchases plan was refused by the council in January before that decision was overturned a few months later. And there's a picture of a very determined Harry Cartmill.
Festive season buses are announced. West Lothian Council has agreed almost £40,000 worth of contracts to keep buses running over the Christmas and New Year holidays. The Council has historically provided an additional level of local bus provision on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, January the 1st and 2nd. Around 8% of the bus network is provided by commercial companies who generally do not operate on these dates. The subsidised bus network is also reduced, leaving gaps in the network. The festive service aims to provide a largely 2-hourly service between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, with a more frequent service being provided on Boxing Day and January the 2nd, to ensure as wide a coverage of the main cross-county routes as possible. Services to St John's Hospital and Livingston Centre are an important part of the service, with access to healthcare and essential work travel being the main focus. The Council's executive approved a £37,350 investment that, alongside the commercial network, would provide services on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the 1st and the 2nd of January. Commercial bus services will operate a limited timetable over the festive period, in addition to the subsidised services listed below. Tom Conn, the Executive Councillor for the Environment and Sustainability, said, West Lothian Council doesn't operate bus services, but the festive bus services aims to provide support to local people during a time when the main commercial bus service, which accounts for 80% of buses in West Lothian, winds down. The restrictions on our budget mean that we can't provide services that help everyone in all scenarios, but our festive services have a particular emphasis on ensuring people can access healthcare, visit friends and family, and attend their places of work. The Council will fund many services over the festive holidays, including Whitburn to Edinburgh via Armadale, Bathgate, Decmont, Uphall and Broxburn, and the X27 Bathgate to Edinburgh service.
Lionesses heading for Five Sisters Zoo after Ukraine bombings rescue. A West Lothian zoo has revealed that it will be welcoming 2 lions rescued from Ukraine. On Monday morning, Five Sisters Zoo stated that a pair of lionesses that were saved from a private owner amidst heavy bombing in 2022 would be arriving in Scotland soon. The animals, named Luna and Plusa, are currently on their way to the West Lothian attraction. After being saved in Ukraine, Luna and Plusa were given urgent medical care in Kiev. They were then relocated to a zoo in Poland before being transported to Belgium. Taking to Facebook, Five Sisters Zoo commented, "We are excited to share that Luna and Plusa, 2 4-year-old lionesses rescued from Ukraine, will soon be arriving at Five Sisters Zoo. These sisters were evacuated from a private owner in eastern Ukraine during the heavy bombing of the region in 2022. After receiving urgent medical care at a shelter in Kyiv, they were relocated to Poznan Zoo in Poland before making their way to our friends in Belgium. Thanks to the incredible efforts of many compassionate individuals, Luna and Plusa are now safe and preparing for their upcoming journey to Scotland. We can't wait to welcome them to FSZ, where they will finally have the permanent home they deserve after such a challenging journey. Stay tuned for more updates as we get closer to their arrival. Since being shared at 9 a.m. on Monday, October 21st, the post has already received more than 1,400 likes, with more than 130 comments. Facebook users were quick to share their thoughts on the news. One wrote, "Whoa, you are amazing. Lucky cats, what a home they will have." A second posted, "Amazing news, can't wait to meet them. Thanks to everyone involved in rescuing these amazing animals." And there's a beautiful picture of the 2 lionesses that are coming to West Calder.
Battery plant cash windfall. West Lothian businesses are set for an economic windfall from new battery storage proposals. Businesses across West Lothian are being actively encouraged to register their interest in the commercial opportunities that will arise should plans for a battery energy storage system, BESS, located between Bathgate and Armadale be approved. Renewable energy developer Galileo has started to receive expressions of interest and are keen that the process is formalised yet made as straightforward as possible for local potential suppliers and contractors. The proposed battery storage facility, with a capacity of up to 50 megawatts, is located on land adjacent to the A801, northwest of Bathgate substation. BESS is an advanced technology which supports the transition away from fossil fuels to clean, green, renewable electricity, the generation of which is intermittent in nature. Galileo is committed to ensuring that, wherever reasonably possible, local suppliers and contractors are used in all aspects of the construction and operation of the battery storage facility. These benefits are in addition to a community benefit fund amounting to around £400,000 over the project's estimated 40-year lifetime for the local communities of Bathgate and Armadale. It is envisaged that this will focus on 2 key priorities: health and physical activity, and training and education. Individuals, local community groups and charities are being encouraged to provide feedback so an understanding of what this funding could be used for can be gained. Visit www.middlerigbess.co.uk.
Trade role for Livingston MP. Gregor Poynton, MP for the Livingston constituency, has been elected to the influential Business and Trade Select Committee of the House of Commons. This appointment puts a Scottish voice at the centre of key economic debates, where he will work closely with the committee chair, Liam Byrne, MP, and fellow members to drive economic growth, boost trade and ensure fairness for workers across the Livingston constituency, Scotland and the UK. Speaking after his election, Mr Poynton said, "I'm honoured to join the Business and Trade Select Committee. I'll be working with Chair Liam Byrne and the rest of the committee to build consensus on driving the fastest economic growth in the G7, rebuilding strong trade alliances, boosting experts, and ensuring fair rights for workers. We face huge challenges, but by working together, we can deliver real economic change." Shortly after his election, Poynton delivered a speech in Westminster Hall during a debate on Scotland's economy, where he addressed both the challenges and opportunities facing the country. In his speech, he highlighted the vital role that West Lothian plays in driving economic growth and innovation. He said, "In West Lothian, we have a fantastic set of businesses and an incredibly skilled workforce, including multinationals, Indigenous scale-ups and early-stage start-ups. The modern West Lothian economy has been built on a diverse range of sectors: life sciences, engineering, construction, food and drink, distribution, aerospace, retail, software development and renewables."
And that brings us to the end of part 1. We'll be back with part 2 very shortly. Welcome back, folks, to part 2, and we'll start with the family intimations. Evelyn Lundy from Bathgate, peacefully on the 21st of September 2024 at home, lovingly remembered by her family and all who knew her. James Ritchie from Uphall, peacefully at Tippet Hill House Hospital, Armadale, on Saturday, October the 12th, 2024. James, aged 88 years, beloved husband of the late Muriel, dearest father of Lonna, dear father-in-law of Neil, much-loved papa of Kaelin and Neve, and beloved brother of Anne and the late Isabel, forever in our hearts. And that's all the intimations, and we'll carry on with some more news items.
Footy Club in running for prize. A popular kids' football club is in the running for a top national award. West Lothian Football Academy has been shortlisted in the National What's On for Kids Awards. The club is in the most loved sport or physical activity, franchiser or independent category of the awards. WLFA provides football coaching sessions for boys and girls from 2 to 15 years and promotes the development of basic football skills and techniques in a fun-filled environment. All classes are taken by SFA qualified coaches. It runs weekly soccer schools across West Lothian for school-aged children, as well as tackling taught classes for preschool boys and girls. WLFA also runs soccer centres during all major school holidays to keep kids active, occupied and fit. A spokesperson said, WLFA is thrilled to announce that we are a finalist in the prestigious National What's On for Kids Awards in the category of Most Loved Sport or Physical Activity, Franchiser or Independent. This is an incredible honour and a testament to the hard work and dedication of our entire team. A huge thank you to everyone who voted for us and supported our journey. We are immensely proud of what the Academy has grown into, and we owe this achievement to our fantastic coaches who strive every day to provide the best experience for your children. Their commitment and passion make all the difference. And there's a whole page of different photographs with the children showing off their football skills.
Council issues dodgy firework warning. People who want to buy fireworks are being urged not to put themselves at risk from unauthorised suppliers. People selling fireworks from places such as the back of a vehicle, in the pub or from a neighbour. The fireworks may be untested or otherwise illegal and have the potential to cause injury or damage to property. Important safety information regarding their use may also be missing. It is illegal to sell fireworks from anywhere other than a suitable fixed premise, with the appropriate licences in place. Fireworks are never legitimately sold from a vehicle or a street trader. Legitimate online sellers delivering to your door are rare, as the necessary transportation conditions are complicated and costly. A council spokesperson said, "The West Lothian Community Safety Partnership is working to ensure that everyone can enjoy a safe bonfire period this November. If you encounter an unregistered bonfire that is already alight, please contact the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service on 999. Illegal or other suspicious activity can be reported to Police Scotland by calling 101, or alternatively contact Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. On finding bonfires under construction but not yet lit, or combustibles suspected of being used for bonfire purposes, Nets, Land Services or Roads should be contacted through the West Lothian Council Contact Centre on 01506 280000. To report unlicensed sellers in West Lothian, contact Trading Standards on 01506 280000 or Trading Standards at westlothian.gov.uk.
Love at 361 feet in romantic proposal on historic bridge. It was the height of romance for a loved-up West Lothian couple who got engaged at the top of the Forth Bridge. Connor Robertson, 31, proved he had a head for heights when he popped the question to girlfriend Laura Dowds, 34. The pair had reached the top of the iconic bridge to help raise money for Barnardo, Scotland. They had signed up for the charity's Your View event, which allows members of the public one of the most sought-after and unique experiences in Scotland, namely the chance to ascend 361 feet up the historic bridge and enjoy an uninterrupted 360-degree panoramic view of the Edinburgh and Fife coastlines. The couple met in 2020, and Laura admitted that she had no idea that she would be engaged by the time she set foot back on terra firma. She said, "The proposal was a complete surprise. Connor didn't even tell me that we were doing the bridge viewing until we arrived in the car. I was stunned, to say the least. I couldn't believe my eyes seeing him down on one knee." The amazing photographer managed to capture lots of snaps of our special moment too, and we're so grateful to have these fantastic memories. We don't have a date for the wedding yet, as I'm going to let Connor recover from all the work he put into the proposal. But it will be local, and hopefully in the next year. We're so excited for this exciting new chapter. Along with the proposal, Laura said that the couple thoroughly enjoyed their Your View experience, adding, "Your View was one of the best things we've done together. Getting to be up on top of the bridge and taking in some of the most amazing sights. I'd recommend it to anyone." The volunteers were amazing too, from getting history about the bridge being built to the friendly and helpful staff joining you as you make your way up in the hoist. It was a day we will never forget. Barnardo's is an incredible charity, and we're over the moon that all of the money from tickets goes straight towards the great work that they do. Your View is in its 6th year, run in conjunction with Network Rail and Balfour Beatty, and another lucky 900 people travelled from all across the world to take part, including visitors from New Zealand, Australia, USA, Canada, Denmark and Portugal. Martin Crew, director of Barnardo Scotland, said, "We want to thank all of those who joined us over the weekend, as this is a crucial fundraiser for Barnardo Scotland as we continue to support children, young people and their families throughout the country. Your View would not be possible without the generosity of Network Rail and Balfour Beatty, and I wish to thank both organisations and our wonderful volunteers for making this special weekend happen. And I very much would like to congratulate Laura and Connor for their historic moment. And at the top of the article is one of the snaps that Laura said about of Connor down on one knee with the ring and Laura in a state of total shock with her hands over her face.
Fireworks launched at house. A young family has been left absolutely terrified after a gang of thugs launched fireworks at their home in West Lothian. Kelly Marie Doherty, 39, was left cowering with her partner Mark Fleming and two of their children, aged 10 and 13, after their house in Whitburn was targeted by youths on the night of Tuesday, October 15th. The mum had been sitting downstairs with Mark while their kids played upstairs when blasts hit their home at around 7:30 p.m. Shocking footage captured by the family's Ring doorbell shows fireworks being launched at the property on the village's Whitdale Place from a park across the road. In the video, multiple fireworks are let off seconds apart before one of the devices crashes into the upstairs area of the property, causing sparks to erupt over the couple's driveway. A second firework can then be seen narrowly missing the family's front door as it exploded around a metre away from the front entrance. Nobody was injured. However, the windscreen of Kelly Marie's car was left scorched by a firework. Images from the aftermath of the chaos show dark dents imprinted on the windscreen, which will now need to be replaced. Recounting the terrifying ordeal, Kelly Marie said, "It was terrifying. The bangs were extremely loud, so I instantly knew that they were close to the house. Our neighbour started blasting their horn to warn us that the fireworks were actually being lobbed at our house. I went straight on to my Ring doorbell and was left horrified to see sparks flying around everywhere right outside. As soon as the kids realised that the house was being targeted, they came running downstairs and they were absolutely terrified. We have no idea who did this and we have no clue why anybody would want to do this. It was horrifying. Thankfully, our neighbour bravely came out and chased the gang away. If they didn't follow, I didn't know how long I would have gone on for. The whole thing lasted about 10 minutes, but it felt much longer. It was horrific." Kelly Marie said the damage will cost the family between £400 and £500. She added, "I dread to think what situations we'd be in today if one of us had happened to be outside. The kids have been left badly shaken by it all, and they keep asking if the group will be back again to do more." It is the second firework-related incident to take place in the area within just a matter of days, after explosives were launched from a moving car in Livingston on Sunday. Video footage shows locals ducking for cover after pyros were shot from the vehicle on Kenilworth Rise. Kelly Marie said, "Clearly there needs to be a ban on fireworks in West Lothian. The incidents in Whitburn and Livingston prove just how dangerous they can be when they land in the wrong hands." In 2022, the Scottish Government gave local authorities new powers to designate firework control zones following a major riot in Dundee. Edinburgh City Council and Glasgow City Council have been the only local authorities to announce bans in areas of both cities so far. The rules are enforced by Police Scotland. A spokesperson for West Lothian Council said, "We would discourage such reckless behaviour and would encourage anyone with relevant information to please provide this to Police Scotland." Discussions with West Lothian community safety partners concluded that there was no requirements to support a council-promoted control zone at this time. However, this will be monitored for the future. For many years, West Lothian Community Safety Partnership has used local knowledge and intelligence to help provide the resources needed for firework and bonfire safety. The partnership will continue to use all current preventative measures in an educative and informative way by sharing collective safety messages and promote licensed events to all residents and businesses to help keep communities safe.
Thug tried to steal dog from victim. Detectives in West Lothian are appealing for information after 2 men tried to steal a dog from a man in Whitburn. A 40-year-old man was walking in an alleyway in the Righouse View area of the town around 6:40 p.m. on Tuesday, October the 15th, when 2 men assaulted him and attempted to steal his dog before running off onto Polkemmet Road. The man received treatment at his home from the Scottish Ambulance Service. The 2 men are described as being around 20 years old, both speaking Scottish accents, and were both wearing dark clothing. Detective Constable Lynn Miles of Livingston CID said, "This was a frightening experience for the victim, so it is vital that we establish exactly what happened and trace the 2 men responsible. I would like to speak to anyone who was in the area at the time who saw or heard anything suspicious. If you think you can help, call 101, quoting incident number 2916 of October 15th, or call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111.
Muddy puddles and fun as children raise money. Kids from a West Lothian nursery led the way in a sponsored walk to help raise money to provide a guide dog to those with sight loss. The youngsters from Rainbow Nursery in Bathgate had a great day jumping in muddy puddles with their new pooch pals during the walk toddle at Bilbardi Park on Monday. The children, parents and staff from the nursery picked the Guide Dogs charity to partner with and have already raised over £1,000 thanks to the walk. Chris Collier, a volunteer with Guide Dogs, said, "The charity is here to help people with sight loss live the life they choose through offering life-changing services and support. But we also help build awareness and understanding of sight loss in our communities and throughout society. This is especially important in our nurseries, schools and youth groups. We are delighted to be working in partnership with Rainbow Nursery. From having our education experience visit using our learning resources, this nursery has been helping start important conversations about sight loss and encouraging their children to grow into compassionate members of the community. We are hugely grateful for their fundraising throughout this year and are so pleased to be supporting their sponsored toddle, with our fantastic local group cheering the little ones on as they move, learn and fundraise for a POSM cause. Those little steps will really make a big impact in supporting guide dogs to help people with sight loss now and in the future. We love to encourage other schools, nurseries and youth groups to take Rainbow Nursery's lead in becoming such inspiring champions of inclusivity by contacting us at learning@guidedogs.org.uk for more information about our available resources and support. A huge thank you to everyone who supported our sponsored walk. It was wonderful to see so many people there supporting such a wonderful cause. And there's a selection of photographs with the children and the guide dogs.
And this is an article about West Lothian College, headlined "Raise a Cheer for the Brand New Graduates." Just under 1,500 people gained a higher education qualification as a West Lothian College student in 2024. Some achieved higher national certificates or diplomas, HNCs or HNDs, after completing courses in subjects like accounting, business, childhood practice, healthcare, computing, engineering, science, sport and art. Others studied part-time while working to achieve HNC's Scottish vocational qualifications in areas such as care, engineering and business, and qualifications accredited by professional bodies like the Institute of Leadership and Management. Around 230 of those who achieved their higher education qualification this year will celebrate their success in the company of 600 guests at a spectacular graduation ceremony held at the college's Livingston campus on October 26th. Jackie Galbraith, principal of West Lothian College, had this message for graduates. Everyone at West Lothian College is very proud of our students who worked so hard to gain their qualification last year. They studied during a major cost of living crisis, with many holding down one or more jobs and some supporting a family. Some of our graduates are now continuing their education at university or college. Others are in new jobs at the beginning of their career, while many are using their qualification to progress in work. I have no doubt they will all use their qualification to make a positive difference in whatever they're doing now. There's a lot going on in the world as we continue to live through challenging and uncertain times. Gaining a higher education qualification is a major achievement and takes grit, hard work and determination. I hope our graduates draw on those strengths to overcome any obstacles they face in future. Graduates should be very proud of themselves.
Martin James, your consumer rights champion. Spy before you buy and avoid falling into a tat trap. There's a lot to be said for planning ahead with you-know-what just around the corner. You may have started planning your gift shopping for friends and family. Alternatively, you might be browsing online in the sales looking for inspiration. Nothing is ever simple though. No matter how prepared you are, there are always duff deals, fraudsters and sneaky retail tricks to watch out for. Here's my own gift guide. Too good to be true. If you're looking for inspiration, then it can be hard to avoid the temptation of ads that pop up on social media. Alternatively, some in-demand, big-ticket gifts might only be available through groups on sites like Facebook or through TikTok. Don't click or comment without doing some research. Many of the shops advertising on social media aren't based in the UK, and this can mean a lengthy delay while you wait for your items to arrive, hefty postal charges, or even an extra bill from customs. Some of the items on these online ads are rubbish. It's virtually impossible to be able to tell what the quality of the goods is like from the photos. It's clear that AI is now being used to enhance some of the products on sale too. So check out review sites and comments from other shoppers to get a feel of whether the shop has a reputation for quality or if it's a load of old tat, and never trust sales from private sellers on social media groups. Sorting out problems. Always check the Contact Us page before you buy anything. Have a think about what you do if the goods don't turn up or aren't as advertised. Many of the biggest online retailers don't have phone numbers, which is outrageous in my opinion. Ask yourself if you want to give a retailer your business if it doesn't want to talk to you. Next, check the returns policy. Just because a business has a UK website address doesn't mean it's based in the UK. Check out the instructions for returns. If there's a charge and where the shop is based, if no address is given, be suspicious. Chances are it's abroad. Projected delivery times. I've seen examples of retailers promising next day delivery on some items, only to give a much later date at checkout. You can cancel and get a full refund if you spot the retailer has done this. The rules around delivery dates are clear-cut. You are entitled to expect your goods to be delivered on the agreed date that you were given when your order was placed. If no date was given or agreed, the trader must get your purchases to you within 30 days of the order being placed. If this does not happen, you are entitled to a full refund. If you paid a supplement for a specified time or date of delivery, you can ask for this back. Ask questions about stock levels. Why not contact the business and ask them if they actually have the items you want in stock? Get them to confirm in writing when the item is due, and don't order without a confirmed delivery day and confirmation or reservation. Get a gift receipt. We've all got so used to shopping online that we've forgotten one of the great perks of buying in person. Most shops will give you a gift receipt for gifts you buy in store. I love gift receipts because they allow the person you're buying for to sneakily take the item back and exchange it in the shop, and you never have to know about it, so no hurt feelings. You can get gift receipts for online purchases too, but bear in mind if you are buying early, the timescales might have expired when you give the gift. So always check the goods are correct and working before wrapping.
And that's the end of part 2 with some very good advice. And you can have my Christmas list very shortly. Welcome back to part 3, which is our usual quiz, the layout of which is now 6 pub quiz questions. Now remember to listen in to the start of part 4 for the answer to the quiz. So here we go. Which English historian and saint was known as the Venerable? Was it St. Bede, St. Thomas Aquinas, or St. Augustine? Question 2. Which annual prizes were established by the legacy of a Swedish chemist? Was it Nobel Prize, Booker Prizes, or Pulitzer Prizes? Question 3. Over which 2 distances do men compete in Olympic hurdles races? Is it 100 metres and 200 metres, 110 metres and 400 metres, or 200 metres and 800 metres? Question 4. What was the ruling dynasty of England from 1603 to 1714? Was it the Tudors, the Plantagenets, or the Stuarts? Question 5. Which English queen had the shortest reign? Queen Anne, Lady Jane Grey, or Queen Mary I? And the last question is, to which animals does the adjective canine relate? Is it cats, horses, or dogs? And that's the 6 questions. We'll be back with the answers in part 4. Welcome back to the last part, part 4, and the answers to the quiz are as follows. Which English historian and saint was known as the Venerable? The answer is St. Bede, St. Thomas Aquinas, or St. Augustine, and the answer is St. Bede. Question 2. Which annual prizes were established by the legacy of a Swedish chemist? Was it the Nobel Prizes, Booker Prizes, or Pulitzer Prizes? And the answer is Nobel Prizes. Over which 2 distances do men compete in Olympic hurdles races? 100 metres and 200 metres, 110 metres and 400 metres, or 200 metres and 800 metres? And the answer is 110 metres and 400 metres. What was the ruling dynasty of England from 1603 to 1714? Was it the Tudors, the Plantagenets, or the Stuarts? And the answer is the Stuarts. Question 5. Which English queen had the shortest reign? Queen Anne, Lady Jane Grey, or Queen Mary I? And the answer is Lady Jane Grey. And the last question is, to which animals does the adjective canine relate? cats, horses, or dogs? And as you all know, it's dogs. And that's the answer to the quiz, and we'll finish part 4 with some more general news items.
Rose, stay positive. Linlithgow Road's assistant boss, John Miller, insists there are positives to take from Saturday's Lowland League draw with Tranent ahead of a Scottish Cup second round tie with Clachnacudden this weekend. Rose twice came from behind to draw 2-2 at home to Tranent, with Craig McCracken cancelling out Harry Girwood's opener for the visitors, and then Dylan McGowan's 84th minute penalty equalising 2 minutes after Adam McGowan had edged the visitors back in front. Attention now turns to the visit of Highland League Clachnacudden in the Cup, and Miller, whose side are 5th in the league, said, "There's some positive things to take into the next game. I think overall a draw is probably a fair result. First half, we've created 3 fantastic opportunities which we really should have converted. In the second half, for the first 10 minutes, we also had great opportunities that we should be scoring. Ultimately, you want to win your home games, and we've not done that. On the cup tie itself," he added, "it's a tough game, but we've done a lot of homework on them. We'll certainly prepare well because it is a massive game for the club, with East Kilbride to come after that as well. It's a big week for the club."
Step forward for Bangor Village Homes. West Lothian councillors will be asked to consider planning applications for the final phase of residential development at Bangor Village Hospital site at Dechmont this week. Planning permission was granted in principle for a 90-hectare residential development with retail facilities, food and drink, education, leisure and associated infrastructure in June 22. Works have started on the site initially with the infrastructure and now the construction of houses. Works have also begun on the conversion of the first group of listed buildings. The proposals being discussed relate to the northern portion of the site, around the recreation ground and the church, and over to the western side of the site. They include Ward 1 and 2, Wards 3 to 6, Ward 10 and the former nurses' home, which are all listed buildings. Woodland planting on the eastern edge of the site is retained, along with a large area of open space in the north of the site. The applications include the construction of 395 houses and 82 flats, and the conversion of listed buildings to form a further 63 flats. Taken together with the previously granted permissions, this brings the total number of units proposed for the site to 976. The committee will make the decision and planning officers are recommending permission is granted. The planning report states that, in summary, the proposals are acceptable in terms of design and layout, will secure the future of a further 4 listed buildings, and will not have any negative impacts on the setting of listed buildings and the Bangor Village Hospital conservation area.
And we're back to sport. Lionesses humbled by the league leaders. Livingston fell to a 3-0 defeat against league leaders Hamilton Accies at the home of the Set Fair Arena on Sunday. Hamilton made it 2 wins from 2 games against the Lionesses as they remain top of the SWPL 1. Both teams braved the Storm Ashley conditions, with the wind causing havoc to any ball that was airbound. Livingston were able to keep possession in their opponent's half due to this, but were unable to create any real opportunities of note. The first half was competitive between both sides, but it was Accies who made the breakthrough before half-time. An overlapping run by Townsley saw the winger break into the box and fire beyond Rachel Pirrie. Livingston seemed disjointed after half-time, allowing Hamilton to take more control of the game. As Livingston struggled to get into their opponent's final third, it was the away side who would put the pressure on. In 2 instances in quick succession, Livingston cleared the ball off the line before giving a penalty away. MacDonald calmly converted the spot kick as Accies then kicked on. Townsley threatened again by hitting the side netting before Tobin added a third straight from a corner. Tobin rattled the bar with a free kick in the game's last opportunity as the away side ran out 3-0 winners. Livy are back in 2 weeks at home to Gart Cairn.
Rent soared by 67% in the north. The cost of renting in the north of England has soared by up to 67% over the past decade. That was the figure in Salford, Greater Manchester, which recorded the UK's biggest hike, with typical monthly rent up from £636 in 2015 to £1,063 this year. There were smaller increases in areas where costs were already higher, such as the West London borough of Kensington and Chelsea, which is the most expensive area to rent in Britain. It saw a rise of just over 27%. Renting in Bristol is up 62.93% from £1,082 to £1,763. In Leicestershire, prices soared from £574 to £934, or 62.71%. Aberdeenshire bucked the trend with a 13.66% drop in renting costs. Across the UK, rents surged by over 37%, according to analysis of data by self-storage firm StorageVault.com. Fraser Sutherland from the firm said rises at the levels seen in this data aren't sustainable.
And that brings us to the end of part 4. And although that brings us to the end of the news from the Courier, would you please stay tuned and I will let you know when we have finally finished the recording. Now, Ray, one of our team, has been out and about and again recorded interviews with John McWright and Jenny Queen, and we have inserted the recording here.
Hello listeners, and welcome to the next edition of our interview feature. This time we've persuaded the president of the West Lothian Visually Impaired Bowlers, John McWright, to take some time out of his day to sit in the hot seat. So without further ado, we'll begin. Hello John, thank you very much for making the time available to speak to us. It's a great honour to do this interview.
Well, Ray, it's nice to be asked and I look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Now, can you give our listeners a brief introduction to your association? And how long has it been in existence? How long have you been the president? How many members have you got? And are there any other interesting snippets that our listeners could know?
Well, we started in 1992. It was a joint venture with West Lothian Council and RNIB Edinburgh. They had an open day up in the sports centre in Bargate. And there was bowls, there was archery and one or two other things. And then a few months later, they got in touch with us, asking if we'd like to go up for a 6-week trial period. And we did. And there was about 10 of us. And we liked it that much that we got together and decided to start our own club. And that was in January 93. So we've been going for 31 years now. Myself, I've been secretary for a lot of years and I've been president for the last 9, because I must be doing something right. And it's an honour to be involved with these guys. Yes, we've lost a lot of members and we've got new people. I am the only survivor of the original crowd.
How many members have you got?
At the moment, we've got 11 members and 6 helpers. The helpers, they are really, really treasures. We couldn't play without them.
Okay.
Your members, the sites are varied. There's partially sighted, there's near blind, and there's 3 of us who are totally blind.
And as this is a bowling club, it's obviously weather dependent. Are you able to play outdoors all year round? And where do you play?
Well, with the weather we get, no, we can't play outdoors all year. What we do play is from April to September outdoors, and then we go indoors at the West Lothian Indoor Bowling Stadium at Howden.
Okay, thank you. And could you give our listeners a brief overview of the process that enables your visually impaired members to play?
Well, to start with, the first thing that we've got to do is we put a string right up the middle of the green, and that gives us our line. It doesn't matter if you can see or like myself, you're totally blind. You can feel for the string if you can't see it, and it roughly gives you an idea where the jack is. You've got a helper who stands up at the jack, and he'll shout down to you how far over it is from the minimum length. The minimum length is about 25 yards from the mat. So you play your ball, and where it lands, the helper will shout down 2 yards at 6. So that gives you, right, it's 2 yards, and it's at 6 o'clock on the watch. The best thing to do with the clock is if you've got a watch, you turn upside down.
Okay.
So 6 is it. Okay, we've seen 6 and 2 at the back. So that gives you an idea. Right, it's a good line, but I just need to put a wee bit more weight on it. Or it could be 1 foot at 3. So you know, all right, and if you want to change something, just put it in a wee bit. And that's basically, I mean, it's quite an easy game once you've got it. Once you've got your hang of it, if you concentrate on the line, never mind the weight, because that comes natural. Your helper will help you.
And the helpers actually help you direct your hand. They'll sort of turn your hand for you.
Well,
or give you pointers to where it goes.
They'll put the ball in your hand, like myself. I'm totally blind. So my helper will pick up the ball and put it in my hand. They're not supposed to touch us.
Okay.
And especially in competitions, they're not like that.
Aye.
So you've got to find the bias and say, right, that's it. And then they'll tell you, right, there's the mat, just put it a wee bit. Right, go. And then you play. And then they'll say, oh, hold it in a wee bit, put it a wee bit more weight in. So you're getting that for your helper here, and you get a helper up at the top.
Aye.
Shouting down to you. As I said, you don't have to be a bowler, because out the 11 of us, there's only one person who bowled before.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've been bowling for 31 years now. Before that, I never even held a ball. And I've developed it. I've played for Scotland, and so has, about 6 years I've played for Scotland over the years. So it's something to aim for if that's what you want to do. More importantly, we ask you to come and enjoy. Even if it's raining, we'll stay in the clubhouse and we'll have a cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit and a good blether.
And that's so important.
It is. How I feel, we're not a bowling club only. We're a support group. We support each other. We've all got problems with the blind. So, we're cheery. And if people see us, I've been on trains coming back from bowling tournaments with other members, and we have a laugh and a joke. And to me, it lets people, like sighted people, think, it's not that bad being blind. My catchphrase is, it's hard being blind, but it's funny. It really is. It's funny. But that's what I'd like to say to your listeners. Come and join us and enjoy what we offer. Don't just come for a game of bowls. We have a couple of meals, one at Christmas, one we're going to have an AGM, and we'll support one another.
That's just so important.
Yeah,
that really is, and I know that from other issues. Okay, you've actually answered one of my future questions as well, but that's fine. I should ask now, does your association have charitable status? And does it receive any funds from the local authority or the Scottish Government, or is it entirely self-funded?
Yes, we are a charitable organisation. Yes, we do get some help from individual councillors. And if one of our members is going to play for Scotland, we'll get in touch with councillors and maybe an MP asking for a wee donation. And really, 9 times out of 10, we get something. But we like to think we're self-sufficient. We go out and do can collections, usually at Tesco's. And there's about 6 Tesco's that allow us to go for a can collection. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Right, so you've already said you're open to new members.
Oh, yes.
If anybody would like to join you, can you tell them how they get in contact?
Well, if they get in touch with me, and my mobile number is 07851 653 118, or Mary Duncan, who is our club secretary.
Mary's phone number is 07710 473332.
Yes, I think we've got a page on the West Lothian Council site. I'm sure we have.
Okay. And you've said already you don't have to be a good bowler to join, and it's open to everybody.
Yes. And we have a qualified coach. Who will help, Graham Taylor.
That really has been very helpful. And thank you once again for allowing us to speak to you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to getting new members.
I think you'll probably get some. You've been very enthusiastic.
Oh, yes. All the members in the club, we've all got a sense of humour. We all love each other. We become really good friends. So let's hope we get more friends.
Well, listeners, that brings us to the end of this interview. Hello, listeners, and welcome to the latest edition of our interviews. This time we've been lucky enough to speak to Jenny Queen, who is a vision rehabilitation specialist with Visibility Scotland. Jenny has agreed to take some time out of her day to sit in the hot seat. So without further ado, we'll begin. Hello, Jenny. Thank you very much for making the time available to speak to us. It's a pleasure to do this interview.
Hi Ray, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a privilege to be asked to join Boomerang, especially after having referred your brilliant talking newspapers to our service users.
Can you give our listeners a brief introduction to your organisation? How long has it been in existence? Where is it based? How long have you been working with them? Are there any other interesting snippets that our listeners could know?
So, Visibility Scotland is a charity supporting children and adults across Scotland who are blind or partially sighted. Our organisation has a proud history that extends over 165 years, originally founded in 1870 as the Society for Promoting Reading Among the Blind. In 1883, we evolved into the mission to the outdoor blind for Glasgow and the west of Scotland, and this broadened our reach to support individuals who are blind or partially sighted across Scotland. We've had many name changes over the years, however, our mission remains the same, to help and support people who have a visual impairment to live independent and fulfilling lives. Our head office is in Glasgow, however, we have a far wider reach, providing support in West Lothian, Edinburgh and Dumfries and Galloway. And of course, anyone in Scotland can contact us for support. I've been with Visibility Scotland for over 5 years, starting in the fundraising team. And as is often the case with small grassroots organisations, I had the opportunity to move over to the Glasgow community team and from there take on the role of the West Lothian Vision Rehabilitation Specialist. As part of the job requirement, I completed a low vision rehabilitation degree at Glasgow Caledonian University, where I graduated in July. Over nearly 2 years, I've learned just as much, if not more, from the service users I've supported, so studying while working in the role was invaluable. I'm not just in people's homes. You'll often find me in Livingston Shopping Centre teaching long cane techniques on the stairs and escalators.
Thank you. I was going to ask, as Visibility Scotland is based in Glasgow, is it still relevant for our listeners in West Lothian? You've answered that beyond any doubt. Could you possibly give our listeners a brief overview of the services that your organisation can provide?
We have many services. However, starting with West Lothian in Edinburgh, we have our flagship patient support service in both St John's Hospital in Livingston and the Princess Alexandra Eye Pavilion in Edinburgh. Patient support provide tailored practical emotional support to patients attending the hospital's eye appointments. We can help with making the most of your vision, support with the registration process, reading and navigation strategies. We can provide information on technology and assistive apps, and also information on benefits and entitlements. We also provide emotional support and signposting into other services, including into myself, vision rehabilitation support, and where I can come out to your home and have a chat about how best to support you. Our support is led by the individual and their needs, and we work out a support plan together. I can provide practical and emotional support, teach visual strategies and essential skills to increase independence in the home and when out and about, and also in the workplace. Visibility Scotland's training programmes are holistic, aiming to increase confidence and build resilience. I'm currently hosting drop-in hubs at some of the partnership and community centres throughout West Lothian. I'm trying to provide at least 1 or 2 a month. What I do prior to the session is I send letters out to service users in the local area, inviting anyone who wishes to come along to have a chat, or if they have any questions, just to pop in. And our goal is to ensure that the support services are accessible to everybody in West Lothian. And we found these community hubs to be highly successful in face-to-face encouragement. We also are running 2 positive outlook courses in West Lothian, one in Livingston Partnership Centre, which is running in November, December. It runs over 3 weeks. So the Livingston one is from the 25th of November and it runs through the 2nd and the 9th. We then have one in Bathgate Partnership Centre in February, and that is running from the 10th to the 24th of February. And anybody who would like to come along to that, the further details can be found on our website, or they can just give us a call and we can book you in. These 3-week courses offer practical and emotional tips to help manage day-to-day challenges you may experience following the diagnosis of a visual impairment. They also provide an opportunity to talk to other people living with sight loss and to share hints, tips and experience.
Thank you. You've already said that your organisation is a charity. Does it receive any funds from local authorities or the Scottish Government, or is it entirely self-funded?
Our flagship service of patient support is funded via National Health Service, Greater Glasgow and Clyde, NHS Lothian, Edinburgh Health and Social Care Partnership and West Lothian Health and Social Care Partnership. We also receive funding via Glasgow City Council's Community Fund to deliver community services in Glasgow City, and a similar project in Dumfries and Galloway is just starting. This is funded through the Health and Social Care Partnership. We also receive funding from Scottish Government for our Tech Works programme, where we offer digital tech advice and access to work support. And we're also very grateful to a number of grants and trusts that have funded projects such as our family advocacy, neurological vision impairment, and our Listening Ears project.
Thank you. Now, from a layperson's viewpoint, you seem to offer similar services to the RNIB. Is your work similar to theirs, and do you liaise with them at all?
Visibility Scotland, as I mentioned, is a grassroots organisation delivering front-facing services, but we do refer into them. Their talking book service, counselling and benefits advice services, and also our Glasgow community team work closely with RNIB as well as Sight Scotland as part of the Sight Loss Network in Glasgow, where we share ideas and host joint events. For example, our Christmas fair held at our head office in Queen's Crescent. That was supported by Connor of RNIB and Andrea from Sight Scotland.
Thank you. If any of our listeners would like to contact you or your organisation, can you tell them how they do it, please?
I think it's really important to highlight that your listeners can self-refer into our services. You don't have to wait to be referred into us by St John's or any other council services. If they email or call Visibility Scotland directly, then this message will be passed on to either myself or my colleague at St John's Hospital, Leanne, and we'll contact them directly to discuss how we can help. Our telephone number is 0131 378 1874, and our email is westlothian@visibilityscotland.org.uk or info@visibilityscotland.org.uk.
Thank you. That's been really helpful, and I would like to thank you once again for making the time to speak to us, and good luck with all your future endeavours.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be invited along, as I said. We're very grateful to have been given the time to talk about our services. And if we get 1 or 10 people calling us after this interview, we'll be delighted to have a chat and ensure that they receive the best support we have to offer.
Thank you. Well, listeners, that brings us to the end of this interview. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to bring you another one soon.
In our recording sessions, we have started to include, where possible, a poem or a composition written and read by one of our team, Ray. So, before we wind up our session, perhaps Ray would again read out one of his compositions. Over to you, Ray.
This is a poem written for a special friend who has unfortunately recently passed away. She was in remission from breast cancer, but unfortunately it came back. So in the meantime, I'd written this poem for her. It's called For a Special Lady. She swept into my life just like a breath of fresh spring air. She laughed, she smiled, she spoke so well and seemed to have no care. The cloud that she had come out from was left so far behind. Her life was free once more. Of strife she had no mind. Her talent shone, she coached, she gave so much to all around. I think it can be safely said, her equal can't be found. But suddenly the darkness came once more and killed her smile. The carefree life is all but gone, now every day's a trial. Although she's trying hard to make each day close to the norm, because that's what's expected of her, always to conform. But she is loved by everyone whose life she ever crossed, and this love gives her strength when on the seas of life she's tossed. Although we know that love alone cannot the darkness beat, she can carry it within her heart to make her soul complete.
Thanks, Ray. We have now come to the end of this week's recording. We hope you have enjoyed it. When you have finished listening to the recording, can I remind you to place the USB stick in the wallet, reverse the label so that the cutout corner is at the top right-hand side, and post it back to us as soon as possible. And remember, wallets should only be posted in a postbox. Do not post them in a post office. One final thought for you. This weekend, the clocks go back 1 hour, so you can have an extra hour in bed. So it's goodbye from the members of the team.
Farine,
Nan,
Ray,
and Carlan.
And it's goodbye from Andrew, our engineer, and from me, Jim. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
bye.